Hello, my friends, and welcome. I am Bulldog, and with me is Derby Nerd, and we are here for the third round of games. On this track, you're going to be watching Team France versus Team Switzerland.
Yes, both of these teams playing in their first games of the 2014 Roller Derby World Cup. But France in particular are veterans of the global game, finished 7th at the 2011 World Cup in Toronto. So expect them to bring a lot of experience to this game in their opening game of this pool.
Yeah, this will be Team Switzerland's debut at the World Cup. They weren't there in Toronto. Right. Team France, of course, was, and a lot of familiar faces, actually. In fact, quite a few of these skaters skated not too long ago at a Euro Derby tournament for France, that is. That was held in Mons, Belgium. So I don't think they've really changed the team up very much. In fact, they might have done that on purpose. Yeah,
keeping that tightness together. Well, let's look at that France roster first. Double zeros is Meryl Stripper. Number 072 is Sally Breuer. Number 12 is Jenna. Number 1331 is Thierry Coltris. I think I got that. Number 138 is Jerry Lilai.
I think you need to do a little more.
Yes. Number 17, Martine Painkiller. Number 22, Rose Hain. Number 29, Dual Hiddison. Number 54, Bully Bunker. Number 66, Falcon. Fans in Canada may know her as Falcon Punch. Number 72, Nina Backdraft. Number 747, Blitz Purple Cat. Number 93, Hooligan. And number HK13, Pookie. That is your Team France.
Also known as Pookie Balboa.
Yes.
All right, over in the red and white, the red jerseys with the white trim. We've got Team Switzerland, number 206, Malice in Wonderland. Number 21, Mona Mortel. Number 23, Kitty LeBang. Number 247, Swiss Spanker. Number 3, Manta Attack. Number 3063, Russian Roulette Babette. And I'm going to run through these pretty quickly. I think we're getting ready to run. Number 44, Bloody Cherry. Number 63, Dot Morg. Number 8, Sin Sister. Number 9, Tomorrow. Number 99M, Womanimal. Number B33R, TN Tina. Number CH5, Chain Hell. And number G6K, Mario Block. And they are lining up now.
Looks like number 8, Sin Sister, is going to be your jammer for Team Switzerland. For Team France, it's number 66 in the blue. Falcon skates out of Montreal Roller Derby in Canada. First jam. This game about to get underway.
There is the first whistle starting the game. Falcon Punch for France in the blue, knocking over Kitty LeBang and Manta Attack, but then juking to the outside and squeezes just past the Switzerland jammer, Sin Sister, who falls down. Team France's Falcon Punch is not lead jammer. She got a no pass, no penalty, but is now on her first scoring pass. Sin Sister of Switzerland still in the pack on her initial pass.
Yeah, nice defense early on here from that French team, and you can see that cohesion coming together early in the first 5 points put on the board for Falcon Punch.
Sin Sister driven to the rear of the pack. Hooligan, number 93 of Team France, holding her and now teaming up with Pookie Balboa as Falcon Punch comes in on the second scoring pass for Team France. Kitty LeBang comes across with a shoulder check, jukes to the inside, and Falcon Punch gets the second grand slam. 10 points for France.
Wow, more unbelievable defense here from Pookie Balboa, but also being really executed well by Blitz Purple Cat. She's finally getting shaken off the jammer, but still Switzerland unable to get their jammer through.
A star pass from Switzerland. Sin Sister passing the star to pivot Womanimal, who now comes in on her first scoring pass as Falcon Punch passes her again on her third scoring pass. Just brushes off a hip check from Sin Sister and avoids one from Kitty LeBang. Gets that fourth scoring pass. Sorry, I said fourth scoring pass for France. That's 20 points so far, but 4 points for Switzerland. They are on the board.
And because of that helmet cover pass, we will not have a lead jammer, so this will go to the full 2. There's about 25 seconds remaining. Another grand slam picked up by Falcon Punch. Sorry, 4 points only picked up by Falcon.
That's right, yeah, they're matching scoring passes now. No lap point, but a multiplayer block called. That's on Pookie Balboa. So France down 1 blocker. But the rest of them work together. Yeah, they get Womanimal out of bounds, and Blitz Purple Cat is going to pull her all the way back into turn 4, and they run out of room. But Switzerland will get all 4 points.
unbelievable opening jam, 28-8 for France. Nice work from Falcon Punch, skates for La Racaille in Montreal. Up now on the jam line for Team France is number 72, Sally Breuer. And on the jam line in the red and white for Team Switzerland, it looks like that is Malice in Wonderland.
That is correct.
By the length of the name on the bottom of her shirt.
Pookie Balboa still in the penalty box for Team France, so a 4-on-3 pack advantage for Switzerland. Malice in Wonderland, they're just triple team. Last shot by Thierry Coultry. No, excuse me. Martine Painkiller. Excuse me. I really wanted to say that name. Thierry Coultry. We'll see. She is on the track. But number 17, Martine Painkiller, working with Thierry Coultry and Jenna Cross, the other French blocker. But finally, Malice in Wonderland leading her initial pass. Oh, Nina backdraft, though, on a scoring pass. Knocked aside. That's by number 44, Bloody Cherry. She will call off the jam in time, though. Only 4 points for Team France in that one.
32-8 now the score, just up to 3.5 minutes into this first half. If you're just tuning in to the 2014 Blood and Thunder Roller Derby World Cup, we're playing 2 20-minute halves. Each team gets 2 timeouts and an official review, but it still takes 7 penalties to foul out. Number 21 on the jam line in the red and white for Team Switzerland, that is Mona Mortel, and she's up against Falcon Punch, going right back with, Bully Bunker, sorry.
Bully Bunker. They do look very similar, though.
Yes.
But Bully Bunker racing through the pack, no trouble at all, gets lead jammer. It's a 3-on-3 pack right now. Yeah, Mona Mortel knocked down briefly, driven to the rear of the pack again.
Dual Hiddison, though, heading to the penalty box in a direction of gameplay, so pivotless will be France on this jam.
Bully Bunker completing her first scoring pass for 5, now moving into scoring position for scoring pass number 2. Ooh, rams into chain hell, driving her forward, but she holds fast. Womanimal keeping the front door shut. But Bully Bunker will come out with all 4 points. Does manage to get her hips in front of every single one of the the Swiss skaters.
Nice, smart call off too, right at the right moment, making sure she got maximum points and gave up none as well. Now it's Falcon Punch back on the jam line.
Actually, a rematch from the very first jam. That's Sin's sister on the jammer line for Team Switzerland. In fact, that looks like the same blocker lineup for Team Switzerland as well.
Tight rotations here early on in this game.
Falcon Punch working hard, gets a last-second hit by... Oh, I almost said that was Manta attack. Knocked her down, but not out. She was able to scramble back to her feet before any of the Swiss skaters could get in front of her. Comes away with lead jammer. But there goes Sin's sister. Not going to get shut down like in that first jam.
No, Falcon Punch does get through, calls it off as she falls at turn number 4, but does pick up. Oh, we'll wait to see the refs conferring about the scoring on that one. Penalty boxes almost empty. 2 points awarded in the end. Dual Hiddison is standing, recently retired from the DC Roller Girls, but here for one last.
She actually skated for Team France in the first World Cup in Toronto.
Yep. We saw her skate this summer too at a Toronto Pride event. She came up and skated for in an all-star game there, so she's still getting onto the track despite her retirement from DC Roller Girls.
Dual Hiddison coming back from the penalty box before either jammer gets out, so we're now at 5-on-5 once again.
It is Nina backdraft jamming for Team France, and she did just pick up lead.
Malice in Wonderland at the rear of the pack. That is Thierry Coultry, and now Jenna Cross. Jenna Cross and Sally Breuer. No, excuse me. I did it again. Martine Painkiller. Martine Painkiller just looks like every other. No, she doesn't at all. I'm making excuses. There goes Nina backdraft out, completing her first Grand Slam. Malice in Wonderland passing the star to number 44, Bloody Cherry.
Second star pass so far, the game so far for the Swiss, using that technique to try and get their jammer through, but not working on this lockdown France defense.
That's 2 scoring passes for Team France. Nina backdraft coming in, and just does a little quick dodge around Mario Block, the last line of defense for Team Switzerland. That star pass not working out too well for Team Switzerland. Bloody Cherry still at the back of the pack, driven out of bounds. She had to recycle. And getting it again. This time Martine Painkiller, who I got first time.
Seeing this, that Strong defense from this French team. The experience really showing through early on in this one. Swiss scrappy, but just unable to get any sort of momentum going. Get some points on the board. Nice last line of defense for Malice in Wonderland, but can't hold her off. 5 more points on the board for France.
And Bloody Cherry just getting hammered by the French defense. Jenna Cross gets in front of her. Martine Painkiller and Dual Hiddison joining forces to make a 3-wall at the back of the pack. And there goes Nina Backdraft just brushing off a shoulder check from Kitty LeBang at the front of the pack. And yet another Grand Slam. France taking a commanding lead. And we're just in Jam 5.
68-8. Unbelievable start here for Team France. Of course, this is round robin play, the opening day. Every game matters. The top 2 teams from each pool will go on. Seeding could come down to point differential as well, so that is something that we have to track during this game too.
Yeah, so we will see teams scoring as much as possible. So we got Womanimal starting off on the jammer line this time for Team Switzerland, fighting her way straight up the center. But Team France just water falling all over. Dual Hiddison finally drawing her back. And there goes Bully Bunker out of the pack for lead jammer.
Yet another lead jammer status picked up for France.
First scoring pass, and she just weaves her way straight up the center. Just did a little slalom run. Just didn't even hit another skater. And gets the Grand Slam. So Team Switzerland was completely focused on getting their jammer through. Not this time though. They take down Bully Bunker.
Yeah, both teams just relying exclusively on defense now, hoping their jammers can do all the work. But now France has an opportunity to lock in some offense, see if they can get their jammer through and complete this scoring pass.
Now that is Kitty LeBang, Chain Hell, and Russian Roulette Babette working together, getting Team France's jammer Bully Bunker out of bounds, but jam is called off. Oh, yeah, it looked like it might have been for an injury, but no, it was just...
Yep, Womanimal is actually going to pick up a penalty. She contacted after the whistle, so this is going to be a power start for France now.
Yes, indeed.
All right, Falcon Punch is going to be out there for the jam start. A power start.
Yeah, 2x2 passive offense start from Team France, but then they spring right into action, working to get their jammer through. And finally, the jammer Falcon Punch with a shoulder check drives into Kitty LeBang, gets through herself. Lead jammer for Team France. First scoring pass, and she just rattles her way through the pack, just bashes away unassisted on that one. I'm going to give it to her unassisted.
Yeah, nice little decoy offense from France executed on that one, but they didn't need it as Falcon Punch was able to power her way through.
All right, yeah. Now the blockers springing into action, seeding chaos, but that is because Womanimal back in the game from the penalty box. That's the jammer for Team Switzerland. On her initial pass, knocked to the outside by Rosienne, number 22 of Team France, but Rosienne falling down herself, and that allows Womanimal to escape the pack. But she's only on her initial pass. Falcon Punch is just going to call it off, and no points for Team Switzerland.
Unbelievable. It's been 6 straight lead jams now for France. After that opening jam went lead jammer-less and went the full 2. France is just completely taking control of things here, and actually all 8 of Switzerland points came on that leaderless jam as well.
Absolutely. We're going to have an empty Notorious RED penalty box to start out this jam. Sin's sister, number 8, jamming for Team Switzerland against number 072, Nina Backdraft. Not to be confused with number 72, Sally Boyer.
Right.
Leading zeros are significant. Oh, Nina Backdraft with a race around the outside, just avoids a hip check from Russian Roulette Babette. The last line of defense for Team Switzerland comes away with the lead jammer for Team France.
Almost looked like that fast start was going to work in Switzerland's favor. France weren't able to lock in their defense. Unfortunately, the offense is firing on all cylinders, and a big Grand Slam picked up.
And this time it was on the inside lane. She gets right by Mario Block, who was in position but wasn't able to make contact. And now second scoring pass for Nina Backdraft. He had to work a little harder. Last parting shot from Mario Block again. but she is going to get 4 points, a 9-point jam for Team France.
That was a beautiful little helmet cover pass. They botched one earlier in the game, but they nailed it on that one, and that forced that call off very quickly. 106-8 now, under 8 minutes to go. These halves in the round robin round are going to go by very, very quickly. Teams kind of have to go right from the start because there's not much opportunity to make a comeback if you need it. CH5, Chain Hell jamming for Switzerland, and Bully Bunker back on the line for France, and she is your lead jammer.
Cruising around now, Chain Hell on. I believe this is her first time jamming in the game.
Yep.
Getting, Stool Hiddison just riding her out of bounds. She has to recycle a little bit, but gets, well, now someone got a clockwise. Okay, that was a direction of gameplay against Cherry Lili of Team France. But Chain Hell still at the back of the pack, now getting lapped once again by Bully Bunker, the French jammer.
Chain Hell does manage to work her way through. Good job for the scrappy jammer.
Another scoring pass by Bully Bunker on one skate, walking the tightrope, almost just off balance. Tina did get a shot in, but wasn't able to get Bully Bunker out of bounds, and she comes out with 4 more points on the last pass.
And another nice, timely call-off, too, at just that right moment. Teams lining up now. France keeping their jammer rotation very tight. Falcon Punch back out there on the line against 206 Malice in Wonderland, who's kind of been a triple threat this game. Pivot, blocking, and jamming for Team Switzerland. 4-3 pack advantage. Switzerland has the defensive position at the back of the track as well.
Yeah, Cherry Lili still in the penalty box for Team France. Malice in Wonderland stopping behind Rosianne, but Rosianne cleared out by Kitty LeBang, and Malice in Wonderland completes her initial pass, but that was number 66 Falcon Punch already out just ahead of her into the pack, weaving her way, juking to the outside. Russian Roulette Babette and Womanimal slowed her down but couldn't stop her. She gets all 4 for Team France.
Nice jam though by the Swiss on that one, keeping it efficient and just limiting the damage to 4 points after a couple big France jams kind of opened this game wide up, leading by more than a century now, 124-8. 5 minutes to go in this first half. We're watching the 2014 Blood and Thunder Roller Derby World Cup in Dallas, USA.
I just realized number 63 is Dot Moore, and number 23 is Kitty LeBang. I'll try and...
It's a work in progress.
Here. Oh yeah. Most of these skaters, I've set eyes on about 15 minutes before the game. But that is Nina Backdraft, number 072, getting lead jammer for Team France. Martine Painkiller ramming that hip into number 21, Mona Mortel of Team Switzerland, who is holding the jammer cap in her hand. That is, she's basically she's playing hide the jammer cap. She started as the jammer, now passes it over to Sin Sister, who makes a run for it, but she gets creamed by Martine Painkiller. So now the jammer for Team Switzerland is Sin Sister, but she still has the helmet cover in her hand. That is why you do not see it on her head. But Nina Backdraft, meanwhile, just scoring at will. Another Grand Slam for Team France.
And just to add to it all, it's going to be a 4-3 pack advantage now for France as well, as number 23, Kitty LeBang, is in the penalty box. Another scoring pass already for Nina Backdraft. Easy pass on the outside on turn number 1. 5 more points on the board for France.
Sin Sister just leaning in, but Martine Painkiller knocks her out. She scrambles back in, straight up the center, runs right into Sally Breuer and Turi Coultrice in a 2-wall at the front of the pack. Now Sally Breuer dropping back and forcing Sin Sister further deeper into the pack. Everywhere she goes, she just sees blue. Even when her friends come by to help her out, the France immediately reforms. They've just
they've been relentless. They've done an amazing job of really counteracting those helmet cover passes. Just got swarming defense. Wonderful work from the French. 1 more point on that last pass for them as well. 149 now to 8. Bont Wheels, one of the sponsors of the 2014 Roller Derby World Cup. Lighter, stronger, faster.
In case you're wondering, every single time the camera cuts to us, I'm looking to the left. That's because I'm glancing over at the screen in between jams. And that's when they cut to us. And I don't spend the entire game with my head cocked all the way to the left. I don't know.
That is the placement of our monitor.
In case anyone was wondering.
Team timeout called by Switzerland. First team timeout of this game. These guys are in a pool with Brazil and Portugal. Should be interesting. Brazil returning for their second World Cup. France will be next. We'll be playing at 7:40 today against Brazil, while the Swiss will be playing Portugal at 7:50 p.m. And tomorrow those two will be playing as well.
Yeah, I knew that. Thanks for
France will be taking on Portugal at 11:40 tomorrow, and Swiss will be taking on Brazil at 10:20 to round out the matches in this pool. Again, the top two teams going on to the quarterfinals. The bottom two teams will continue playing in the consolation round as well, so the tournament will not end even if you don't advance into the medal rounds out of your pools. All right, on the jam line in the blue, number 54, Bully Bunker for France. She's up against 99M Womanimal for Switzerland.
Womanimal gets taken out by number 00, Meryl Stripper. Way up front, it's Bully Bunker. Gets away from the Swiss defense. She is lead jammer.
That is the 11th straight lead jam for France.
Womanimal at the front, trying to get by. She does. Gets right by Meryl Stripper, the last line of defense for Team France, completing her initial pass. Not quite getting lapped by Bully Bunker this time.
Russian roulette. Babette heading to the box for Switzerland. 4-3 pack advantage to start the next jam for Team France. And they're quickly back onto the line. Wow, strong performance by the French. And their biggest challenge may be coming up yet against Brazil. We'll have to see how well that team has advanced. We saw Argentina put on a pretty solid performance against Canada earlier. They were kind of the bottom feeders at the 2011 World Cup along with Brazil. And I'm sure that we're going to see a very big difference in that Brazilian team.
Also, a lot of newcomers. Actually, only 13 only 13 countries represented in the first World Cup. Now there are 30, so more than doubling. 17 brand new countries to the World Cup.
Falcon Punch is your lead jammer for France. She's out there against Shane Hell in the red and white, and tried to take the outside lane as she was able to take it. Had to bowl through some Switzerland blockers to do so.
Yeah, that looks like she's trying to climb the French Alps out there. There's just a mountain range of French skaters at the back of the pack, and she is just getting nowhere at all.
They work beautifully laterally back and forth using that whole track, working together as one. It's impressive to see.
Shane Hell cutting the track. That means we have a power jam for Team France. Not that they need it at this point. Just over a minute left in the first half. There's a little bit more time on the period clock than there is in the jam clock, as you can see. So we may have one more jam after this.
I think it's going to be up to France and whether or not they want one. Again, lining up with that split passive offense to see what Falcon Punch can do. They do manage to reach up and trap one. Old school trap derby on this power jam from Team France as Falcon Punch has put up 5 points.
Coming through again and just gets taken down by Dot Morg, number 63 but Falcon Punch getting around Russian Roulette, Babette, and Malice in Wonderland. Dot Morg actually going to the penalty box.
Nice simple offense from number 22 Rose Hand, the pivot. Just sweeping in, opening up a little hole for Falcon Punch, and that's all she needs. She'll power her way through the rest of the way.
Malice in Wonderland saw the high sign from the referee that signaling she was dangerously close to being out of play.
Shane Hell picking up
but that was a warning.
Another track cut, so another power jam, back-to-back power jams here for France to end this opening half and extend their lead. And that was a 35-point jam, all said and done by Falcon Punch from Montreal. Wow, unbelievable performance. And it looks like that is going to take us into halftime here, Bulldog. What a half for France.
Neither team calling a timeout, so we will have a halftime. We're going to This was a pretty exciting game if you like watching France skating around. Now, Switzerland they did put up a fight.
Yep, for sure.
But, you know, I think it was that lead jammer every single time Switzerland was able to mount any kind of an offensive move.
Yeah, all of Switzerland,
France just had to shut it down.
That's right. Came off of that opening 2-minute jam when there was no lead called. So they haven't been able to muster up any offense off the starts here in the first half so far. They'll have to make those adjustments for the second half.
There you go, and maybe get the lead jammer a time or two.
Yes.
But we'll be back in about 7 minutes, so just a short halftime break, and we'll come back with the second half of Team Switzerland versus Team France. But we are coming in on the second half of Team France versus Team Switzerland. We are in the middle of the third round of the pool matchups. So we've got this is actually the first appearance today for Team France and Team Switzerland.
Yeah, and the first appearance for any of the teams in this particular grouping as well. So we still have yet to see Brazil and Portugal, but they will be coming up, as you mentioned, shortly. We'll get a better sense of how this pool is going to play out. So far in the first half of this one, France has been absolutely dominant, led by their leading scorer, Falcon Punch, who put up 84 points in that half. They're leading 189-8.
Leading by far.
Yes.
Switzerland is going to start out down a blocker and their jammer. That's Dot Morg, number 63, in the penalty box, along with and Chain Hell as jammer for Team Switzerland. So Nina Backdraft, number 072 of Team France, starting off only facing 3 blockers, gets by all 3 with little trouble. That was Womanimal and Kitty LeBang and Russian Roulette Babette, unable to stop the French jammer. She is lead.
An interesting move by the French just to kind of hold back and wait for the blocker, try and entrap her and form that pack at the back. They've sort of been able to do so, but it looks like 13-31. Turicoltrice is going to come up and work some offense. I nailed it just before the game. It's harder in the game. But France picking up right where they left off.
And Chain Hell, the jammer for Team Switzerland, finally coming out of the penalty box. Switzerland in the red and France in the blue, by the way. Chain Hell of Team Switzerland running into Jenna Cross, and now Sally Breuer getting in front of her. She takes off the helmet cover, passes it to Womanimal, the pivot for Team Switzerland, and immediately is picked up Martine Painkiller with a hip check, taking her down. She's going to go to the back of the pack.
France has been all over these helmet cover passes. They've been able to, except for once, they've been able to swallow up the pivot before she's had an opportunity to get it on her head, let alone get her to the pack. Another clean pass for Nina Backdraft and 5 more points for France. Should note, France has picked up every lead jammer of this game so far.
Yeah, the only exception, the only asterisk in that is in that very first jam of the first half where no one got lead jammer.
That's right. And that's going to conclude our opening jam here the second half. Another big pickup for France. 22 points on that opening jam. 2-11-8 now is the score. I mentioned that France finished 7th at the last World Cup. Switzerland, have they had much action at all in as a team?
Not that I'm aware of, but I have not been able. I have not managed to attend every single one of the Team Europe or the European World Cup team matchups. However, Team France has had several opportunities to skate together against teams from other countries. Oh, but look at this. It's lead jammer for Mona Martel, number 21 of Team Switzerland. She gets out first, and that's against Falcon Punch. Falcon Punch, the top scorer. Oh,
yeah, there it is.
Now we're 1-1. Bully Bunker. Bully Bunker completing her initial pass, not getting lead jammer. That is already taken by Mona Martel, who's on a scoring pass. Oh, gets 2 points and holds France scoreless. I think that's also the first time France has failed to score in a jam.
That is true. The first time they failed to score. First points of the game for Switzerland since the first jam of this game. So unbelievable for Switzerland back on the board. All it took was an announcer saying that France had picked up every single lead jam for Switzerland to come and
the announcer's curse.
Yes. There's Falcon Punch on the line in the blue for Team France, and she is up against Malice in Wonderland in the red and white for Team Switzerland.
5-on-5 on the track. The notorious RED penalty box is empty. Moving up the outside lane and 2 in a row. Malice in Wonderland coming out for lead jammer. France just left the outside door open, and she immediately capitalized on that. Now France actually looking like I saw their eyes wide open. I saw the whites of their eyes when she started approaching, so maybe getting a little rattled. Team Switzerland does put up a fight against Falcon Punch, but she does get out for 4. So Malice in Wonderland just trying to match those points. Oh, she's only going to get 3 points. So in spite of getting lead jammer, Switzerland still loses the jam by 1.
Yes, and France decides to call it team timeout. They don't like the way things have started here in the second half. They've started evenly, which is wasn't the case for the opening half.
Yeah, well, no, it looked to me like when Malice in Wonderland got lead jammer, they were looking around in a little bit of panic. Maybe they were kind of maybe a little bit got a little confident in during halftime, saying, "Oh, we got this, we got this, no problem." It seems Switzerland just boom, pulls it out of the back pocket.
It's almost easier to be losing by a lot at half. You have more adjustments to make. When you're cruising, you can kind of just easily have a kind of a lackadaisical halftime and say, oh yeah, things are going well, let's just stick with the game plan. But Switzerland has obviously made adjustments on these starts because their jammers are having an easier time getting through. And let's see if that holds true for Shane Hell, who is on the line now for Switzerland against Nina Backdraft.
That's right. Now, and just to reiterate, number 72 is Sally Breuer.
Yes.
Number 072 is Nina Backdraft.
And they're both standing next to each other on the track right now.
And they're both in this jam.
5-on-5. Shane Hell tries to go to the outside.
So that's Jenna Cross and Martine Painkiller in a 2-wall at the back. They're helped out by Thierry Coltrice and Sally Breuer. Team Switzerland trying to break it up for their jammer, but oh, Sally Breuer with a brutal shoulder check. Slams Shane Hell to the ground, now getting lapped by Nina Backdraft. Nina Backdraft already lead jammer and just bulldozes her way right through the Swiss defense. No trouble at all. Grand slam for Team France.
Well taken timeout there for France. Seem to make the necessary adjustments. And they're back flying here with lead jammer set. It's now 2-2 here in the second half, and they now have a 4-3 pack advantage as well, as number 63 is heading to the penalty box. It's Duckmore, Team Switzerland. Oh, a nice outside lane, wide open for Nina Backdraft, and she decided to take it. 5 more points on the board, and we do have another helmet cover pass.
Attempted, yeah, she's got the helmet cover off. It's not a pass until the pivot, takes it over. The pivot right now, Mona Martel takes, did I say that? Yeah, Mona Mortel, as in Martel. Of course, in American English, those sound exactly the same. But she is now the jammer, but knocked to the ground by Martine Painkiller. Maybe they should change her name to Pain Inflictor.
Yes, it seems to be. She seems to have this mental, she just knows when that helmet cover pass is happening, and she locks into the jammer, the pivot. Unfortunately,
she has been inflicting a lot of pain on Team Switzerland throughout this game. I mean, every time I mistook her name, it was in the first half. It was always her.
And it was because of some monstrous hit. Thierry Coltrice getting in on it as well there.
Nina Backdraft is going to pick up 1 more point in the last scoring pass. However, Mona Mortel does put 2 on the board for Team Switzerland. A 26-point jam for Team France, though.
26-2 on that one. We are all even here in the second half, 2-2 in terms of leads. But France has managed to put up over 50 points on the board so far this half. 7 for Switzerland.
Bully bunker on the jammer line for Team France against Womanimal for Team Switzerland. Dual hit is in back and forth. Womanimal looking for the outside lane, and Meryl Stripper is there. Dual hit is in on the inside, now holding and Meryl Stripper on the outside. Womanimal, going, no matter where she goes, hits one of those 2 players. Oh, but squeezes out right past Meryl Stripper, gets lead jammer.
And that was all Manta attack in the Switzerland pack. Just as Nina Backdraft was about to get out and get lead jammer, Bully Bunker was about to get lead jammer, she knocked her out of bounds.
That was Cherry Lili sweeping across the track and ramming her shoulder into the sternum of Womanimal, knocking her to the ground on the outside. She calls off the jam from the ground, though. Will score 2 points, but 3 points for Team Switzerland, but 2 of those matched by Team France.
So 2 stolen by France, a 1-0 jam there for Switzerland. Falcon Punch back on the line against Mona Mortel. Is this her first jam with the Star so far this game?
You know, I think that is correct. She did get a couple of
star
passes, but the sneak attack star pass to Malice in Wonderland. But those you don't have a history of going well.
No.
The key to that is to hold in your jammer, and you know that it's usually employed by teams that are far behind anyway, which means that the other team's jammer is very effective.
Yes, exactly.
Which means that you haven't been very effective holding their jammer in. It's just a little bit of ironic, and we saw that again. What that means is that you're giving up any possibility of getting lead jammer. The other jammer gets out, she gets lead, and she can shut it down, even if she's a full lap behind you.
And Switzerland hasn't been that far off this half. They've got 3 lead jams. We're only 6 jams into the second half, so they have had some success. But interesting, we should have saw that pass coming right from the start. Hey, Switzerland mixing things up, going up to the pivot line. See if that can help. Maybe locking in the defense at the front. It does not, though. They were spread too thin at turn 1.
Yeah, now nice attempt, but Nina backdraft is lead. But
nice 3-wall of France skaters at turn number 3, just holding back the block, but nice work from the jammer number 3.
Manta attack. I believe that is her first time on. I believe that is her first time on the jammer line as well.
It is her first time on the jammer line as well.
But but now one thing, I'm glancing, sneaking a peek at your cheat sheet over there, and it looks like actually so far in this second half, is that right? They're tied on lead jammers.
They are, yeah. 3-3 so far. 6 jams in. This is their 7th jam of the half. So that's a great start for Switzerland after picking up no leads in the first. Just coming up to the midway point here of the second half. Remember, these are 20-minute halves just for the round-robin games.
Now Switzerland moving into a braced 3-wall or a braced 2-wall, or as my friend Julia Sleazer likes to call it, a Triforce.
A Triforce, I like that.
I kind of like calling it that. I don't know if that's caught on yet, though.
Meryl Stripper with some nice one-on-one work against the Switzerland jammer, putting her back and swallowing her up into the pack, but she has no support as their penalty box is filling up. First bit of penalty trouble for Team France. They only picked up 6 penalties in the whole first half.
Bully Bunker now moving into a defensive stance against Switzerland's jammer, Sin Sister. Oh, Sin Sister tries to make a last-ditch sudden burst of speed into the pack, but isn't going to quite get there. No points at all.
None at all. 261-18 now for Team France.
Oh, sorry. That was 5 points for
Team
France.
Yes, 5 points for Team France. Forgot that she had picked up lead as well. Malice in Wonderland back on the jam line for Team Switzerland against Falcon Punch. Kind of a pretty international flair on Team France this year. Falcon Punch, Dual Hiddison, coming from North American leagues. Oh, and a nice cut drawn by the pivot Hooligan for Team France, and this is going to be a power jam now for Falcon Punch, the game's leading scorer.
Oh, just ducks under a shoulder check from Russian Roulette Babette and weaves her way right past Mario Block and Mona Mortel to complete her pass for Grand Slam. Falcon Punch now coming in a second time. This time Russian Roulette Babette was on the ground and being sent off to the penalty box anyway, so unable to make contact. Easy second Grand Slam for Falcon Punch.
Mentioned the international flair, this French team, but a lot of the skaters do come from Paris Roller Derby, but they do also have skaters from Berlin, from Canada, and from the United States as well.
And you know, as all weekend, we're going to see a wide range of skill levels and experience levels in the sport, because a lot of these teams, this is their first international competition ever. Yeah. Especially as a national team. But some of these countries that are being represented, they've only had roller derby at all for a year or two. So we actually have a top 8 teams that we're expecting the most competition for. That's why they've been spread out into the 8 pools. Only one of those teams is in each of the 8 pools. So basically each pool of 3 or 4 teams has one team that is expected to be a powerhouse. Of course, for Team France being the powerhouse in this pool.
That was a 24-point pickup now to extend the lead on the Power Jam to 285 to 18. France are living up to those expectations that you just mentioned. They're looking very strong, as we said. They did manage a 7th place finish at the 2011 World Cup. I think a performance they were very happy with at the time.
Nina backdraft up the inside lane, but gets sideswiped by Manta Attack. Manta Attack does get a low block penalty, goes to the penalty box, but Nina backdraft had to back it up. This time goes up the inside lane, avoids Dot Morg and Kitty LeBang to complete her initial pass and comes away with lead.
Yeah, nice recovery there from Nina backdraft to get back up and take lead. And great defensive work here from the 2 French blockers who were in that pack, now getting their reinforcements as all 4 are back on the track. 4-3 advantage now for France.
Shane looking like I think I saw wasn't that Kevin Bacon's Footloose performance in the warehouse when he's going back and forth in complete frustration? That I don't know. Did that spark any memories like that for anyone else?
Not for me directly, but I can see where you're going with that one. No.
I can see, it's like just that letting out that frustration. You know?
It did look like a
I wonder if
dance.
that was as cathartic for her as it was for him.
Not cathartic enough. Manta Attack now has the star in her hand, and she does burst through the pack. So a nice successful helmet cover pass. I'm impressed by how France was able to, as a whole pack, move right along with her in that dance, that lateral dance.
We need a hero. Holding out for a hero.
Nice job by Manta Attack to get around the track and force the call off, limit the damage. But 300 points has been passed by France. 304 to 18. Now 6 minutes to go in the second half.
Now a string of lead jammers for Team France. So it seems Switzerland falling, well, I think Team France is more accurately is falling right back into the groove they had in the first half.
Switzerland trying to broaden their jammer rotation a bit. It's now number 8, Sin Sister with the star. She's been the recipient of at least a 1 helmet cover pass so far this game, right?
Oh, she started as jammer quite a few times in the first half, but also we've seen a lot of star passes from Team Switzerland, but they are just. I mean, they're clearly outmatched by Team France. I mean, not in talent. I'm seeing a lot of good skating from Team Switzerland, but Team France obviously working so much better together. They're of one mind. With a little bit of hiccup in the beginning of the first half, I saw, but now they've got it back together. There goes the star pass. You called it.
Yep.
Star pass over to Womanimal, but it's going to be all for nothing. Doesn't even get close to the pack. And France's Bully Bunker calls off the jam.
Yeah, I think you're right to point out it's not necessarily a skill level difference, it's purely an experience difference, and there's a lot of track time that has been accumulated by these skaters on this French team, and you're just seeing it in a game like this.
Yeah, we're seeing some impressive blocking from individual members of Team Switzerland. They aren't quite able to lock it together, though, and find the French jammer and get in front of her, stay in front of her, and that adds up to lead jammer for Team France. There goes Falcon Punch. Slipping, I think. I don't think she actually got knocked down. She slipped a little bit. And Manta Attack going to the penalty box. One of the most impressive blockers, by the way, for Team Switzerland, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. She has been, and we've also seen her take a star as well. Very capable jammer. Falcon Punch picks up 5 points.
But there is that cohesive defense from Team France. They have all 4 skaters on the track, and it's a 3-wall with a brace in the front. Rose Hien. And they draw the cut. It's going to be another power jam for Team France.
That's right. Mona Martel heading to the penalty box, the Swiss jammer. And this is another opportunity for the game's leading scorer, Falcon Punch, to add to her impressive total. And a nice sweep inside out.
That was Mario Block who saw the inside door open. She moves to get out of the way, or get in the way, and Falcon Punch just does a casual juke to the outside and slips right by.
Falcon Punch with that stoned expression on her face just never changes, no matter what the situation is. A product of one of the best roller derby programs in Canada, Montreal Roller Derby. Oh, and a nice move all through. Oh! She couldn't quite stay up.
This is one of those careful situations, like if she gets up, did I cut? And she looks at her coach. Yeah. Smart move. That's one of those things about experience. A less experienced skater might have just scrambled right back up. You know, it could be, but
yeah, she made sure.
It's possible that her skate went out of bounds, and the referee is holding his cards close to the vest. So you got to look at the coach, look at your teammates, see if they think I should get up.
Yeah,
because it's so painful when you get that little technical penalty that you didn't know about. You have no idea.
And if you look at your coach, you can blame your coach afterwards, saying, "Hey, come on, coach, you told me to go."
I was going to say maybe he saw that, but no, actually that's probably a better way to go. You can at least, hey, it's not my fault. He told me to do it.
That was another 29-point jam, by the way, for Falcon Punch, who was just eating up the track in this game.
That's the Nuremberg defense. I was following orders. Okay, there we go. But a penalty. I think this is the first power jam for Team Switch. Maybe the second. I'm not.
Yeah, it is second, but they weren't able to take advantage in the first half of the. But this is big power jam opportunity here for Switzerland in the second half. With Nina Backdraft in the box.
T and Tina of Team Switzerland going to the penalty box. That leaves only 3 blockers on the track for Team Switzerland to help their jammer get through. And it's actually their jammer is Womanimal, who has received the star pass. And now, after taking a battering from Team France, has completed her initial pass.
So this will go the full 2 minutes, though, and there's just over a minute left on the jam. Minute 30 left in the game clock.
Nina Backdraft back in play, so no more power jam. Womanimal, though, on a scoring pass. Nina Backdraft jukes behind Kitty LeBang, avoids chain hell, and completes her initial pass.
Would like to make a correction. This is the first power jam of the game for Team Switzerland. It is, you're right.
Womanimal looking for the inside lane. Now Nina Backdraft catching up to her. A potential grand slam. There it is. Grand slam for Team France.
Womanimal going one-on-one against Thierry Coutris.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm not sure if Womanimal is eligible for that jammer point because Nina Backdraft actually got out of the penalty box while and caught up to her was right behind her while Womanimal was still moving into scoring position, had not yet gotten into the pack on her first scoring pass.
That is right. Unbelievable defense on the penalty kill from Team France. Locking it down. Coming up to the final moments of this game, opening game of the 2014 Blood and Thunder Roller Derby World Cup for both of these teams.
I glanced over at the clock. It looked like there were about 27 or 28 seconds remaining. And so a timeout needs to be called. It looks like a timeout is called. Maybe an official. Oh, actually, Team France requesting an official review. So the clock frozen at 24 seconds. We will have another jam.
You are watching action on track number 1, the roll line track here of one of 3 tracks at the Blood and Thunder Roller Derby World Cup. They make killer plates. It's a new concept designed for roller derby. The plates used by the best athletes in the world. Thank you to Rollline. So 361, excuse me, to 23 is the score with only 25 seconds left to go, and official review, as you mentioned, has been called. Any speculation as to what that possibly could be about? I didn't see anything that would have warranted it.
You know, you really never can tell with these. I didn't see anything myself, but there was a lot of action, a lot of confusion. There was a power jam. I mean, he could very well be just requesting an official review of the penalty that was called on his jammer, even though the penalty's already been served. Sometimes, coaches. Yep. Well, there's various reasons. I mean, basically, they can't uncall the penalty. The most they can do, or take back the time served. And this is all speculation. But since we don't have any other information, I'll tell you a story. No, it's we basically, sometimes it does count to take that penalty off of the penalty board.
Yeah.
And that takes your jammer one step further away from fouling out.
Yeah.
So it is useful that way, just to take a penalty away, even if it's already been served.
Yep.
The other thing is to stop the clock. It's a way to stop the clock.
Yep.
However, I mean but it could also be the penalty on Jenna Cross, or it could be or just as likely it could be they won a penalty that wasn't called. That happens too on the other team. So yeah, I think I've covered all the possibilities.
All the possibilities. So you're going to be right either way. Whatever happens, you're right.
That's right.
We'll hear the referees have done conferring, and they are now explaining their decisions to the bench coach and staff of Team France and Team Switzerland. I should mention that the Team France coach is Pierre Ardelier from Hero Derby Girls, and the coach for Switzerland is Jam Buster, who actually began his derby career in Winnipeg for Winnipeg Roller Derby. So another Canadian connection here in this game, just one of many. This last jam, 25 seconds left to go, we will get another jam in, and it's going to be brought to you by Fast Girl Skates, serving skaters of all shapes and sizes since 2007. One of the first bricks and mortar stores specializing in roller derby equipment, located in Seattle. A legend in the roller derby community. Bulldog, do you get an update there? Which one of your speculations was correct?
None of the, well, it was a penalty on the other team. You know, that was my most general and useless speculation. But it is a clockwise block on number 63, Dot Morg, that was upheld. So Dot Morg now sitting in the penalty box. So that leaves Team Switzerland with only 2 blockers on the track. But France has, that is Jenna Cross in the penalty box for Team France. So a 3-on-2 pack.
And it is going to be Bully Bunker with the final jam, and another quick star pass again, but lead jammer does go to Bully Bunker. It was Malice in Wonderland passing that star very quickly to number 3, Manta Attack.
Okay, and then there was a little technical difficulty. The overlay period clock did not start at the whistle, so we are going to just be winging it with the time.
There is about 1:46 left.
That's in the jam. The period clock, though. Period clock has officially expired on every clock that I can see. So this is the last jam.
And it is
Bully Bunker is going to call off the jam, but Team Switzerland does end on a high note. They're going to pick up just 4 more points. So actually some happy faces. This is their very first appearance in Blood and Thunder World Cup play.
That's right, an impressive performance from Switzerland as they make their debut. Put up 27 points, nothing to shake a stick at, but was a dominant performance by France. After a shaky start to the second half, they managed to ring off 8 lead jammers in a row to really retake control of this bout and kind of run away with it in the end, and send a strong signal to Brazil and Portugal that they are the team to watch in this pool.
Absolutely.
And it's still an unofficial final, so we will wait till that final score is made official.
The next game on this track will be Brazil versus Portugal. You saw Brazil warming up at the halftime of this bout. And of course, coming up on the other tracks, on the Blood and Thunder track, it's going to be Spain versus Ireland. And over on the Big Tex track, track number 3, we've got Scotland versus Mexico.
And for fans of France, you can see them take on Brazil next at 7:40 p.m. tonight. And Switzerland will be up at almost the same time, 7:50, against Portugal to round out that group play for the day today.
All right.
Well, Bulldog, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Derby Nerd, thank you very much. All right, we're going to drop off here, and next time you join in on this channel, it will be Brazil versus Portugal.
You are watching the 2014 Blood and Thunder Roller Derby World Cup.